Winning has a price. And leadership has a price. So I pulled people along when they didn't want to be pulled. I challenge people when they don't want to be challenged. And I earned that right because my teammates came after me. They didn't endure all the things that I endured.
Michael Jordan was down in pain. Michael Jordan continued.
You ready to make history? Come on now. Yeah. You know, there's these two words. And when I say them, people get goosebumps because they know what happens next. So without further ado,
free smoke.
Look, scared cause I'm drowning in silence with bad thoughts. These days I don't have nothing to say, man, the bag talks. I put in headphones on my driver, pull up to the spot and give a good dick and Godiva. I can't lie, I'm uninspired. No more pillow talking about nonsense. I only stick around to put some band-aids on my conscience. I don't know why I feel so bad, nigga. That's what we do, no foundation. We don't build no more, we just screw. Half a bottle of Henny, girl, I'm going with the wind. The same niggas say they happy for me, ain't want me to win. So I'm done on my friends, don't need help popping Coronas and reminiscing. I just call up Big Bro J and say it's time for venting. If I live forever, I hold this hate for some centuries. You don't know how much I have you doing what it meant to me, but motherfuck all that. I don't even offer up the time to make the call back. Stupid Lodo, if they don't get the picture now, man, I crop them out of the photo. I can't relate to my peers. Been doing this shit for years. I'm motivated by fears. I took the wheel and I steer. My sound not dictated by fuck boys in Atlanta. Stay gifted like this album was ghost written by Santa. Boss forever like they decided to throw me under slammer. Every song's a hit like they picture me underhanders. I could drop 1,000,000 songs, but they never gon' understand us. Soapbox sermons for niggas never giving chances. Fight our whole lives to get these weak ass advances. Work twice as hard for the shit that they getting handed. And this ain't even nothing we chose, nigga, we branded. Still can't tell.
Boy, ESPN know they got a talent in Malika, boy. They throw Malika ass on everything now, boy. She like Stephen A 2.0. Excuse me. They like, yo, everybody seem to like Malika, yo. Let's throw her on everything. Now we just wait for the bozos out there to get Malika Andrews fatigue. But welcome back. Yo, Game 7 is tomorrow. I can't wait. I'm feeling like my man Bartholomew. Can't wait. Bart. But yo, how dope was the day? Yo, we gotta get right into it though. Yo, we gotta double back. We gotta double back to Game 6 for Miami. Cause I talked about how I felt like Jason Tatum really made no difference for for Boston in the fourth quarter. Like, I talked about how I felt like he just did not impact the game in the second half the way you would think. The way they hype up Jason Tatum and the way they and listen, Jason Tatum is a great player. I'm not taking nothing away from Jason Tatum. This is not me shitting on Jason Tatum. I just think that the media be so quick to want to crown these dudes the best players in the NBA that they don't really get these dudes full time to really accomplish anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, these dudes score a lot of points, and yes, they done beat Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving in the first round. They swept them. But like I said before, you can't have it both ways when you say Brooklyn was not a good team, but then you turn around and say, oh man, they beat Brooklyn. Come on, but I mean, what? And then you can't turn around and tell me that the Bucks are a completely different team, and they would have been a different team if they have Chris Middleton. But then you turn around and say, oh, they beat the Bucks. Because when you say shit like that, or when you do these breakdowns and you only look at, oh, Boston beat these teams, but you don't worry about those other things, then that's how you give half of the story. Okay, so what I'm basically saying is, if the media had to stop just Boston this, Boston that in a good way, because all I hear is how good Boston is, how they're the best team in the playoffs, how they got Jason Tatum. If that right there, the media doing that, I think that's one of the reasons why a lot of people go against players at times, because they be like, yo, some fans out there be like, yo, these dudes are not. Like, a lot of people had a problem when people put Jason Tatum and Luka as the best players in the playoffs. Because they're like, for one, how are either of them two better than Curry, who has won championships, been an MVP, unanimous MVP, got his team to this point right now? And I understood that because I didn't think either Jason Tatum or Luka were better than Turk Curry or Jimmy Butler. And it's amazing how that's playing out right now. And I'm not a big I told you so type of motherfucker. But I will always be a I told you so motherfucker when it comes to Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler. Because even if Miami does not win this series, I saw Malika Andrews and Stephen A. say in a clip I saw, the days of doubting or underestimating Jimmy Butler are over. I never doubted Jimmy Butler. Even though you can say I did when I said basically. But listen, I still kept telling y'all in these shows, I'm still sticking with my pick in Miami in 7. Don't know how it's going to happen. Still sticking with my pick. So, technically, I still did not doubt my boy. I was losing a little bit of faith, not in Jimmy, but in these people around him. But this is what I want to say about, because I only was going at, well, not really going at. I was talking about Jason Tatum last night. But I actually got to say something about Jaylen Brown, too. Because I did talk about, a lot of the stuff I said about Jaylen Brown was good. Because, you know, when you have, for one, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum being the two, you know, leaders of your team, they can't have the first 11 minutes of a fourth quarter and take one shot. The aggressiveness of Jaylen Brown cannot just disappear in the fourth quarter. But the reason I think I don't really... The reason I'm probably less critical of Jaylen Brown than than Jason Tatum is because Jason Tatum done been dubbed the leader of the team. So even if Jaylen Brown go out in the fourth quarter and struggle the first couple, you cannot have Jason Tatum taking one fucking shot. And I think Jason Tatum only took one shot in the fourth quarter, period. And he had 4 turnovers. Like, that can't happen for Jason Tatum. And for some reason, I don't think that the media hold Jason Tatum to these. Like, they keep blowing up his good games and whatnot. But when he struggled, they talk about it for a couple seconds and then they move on. And they immediately tell you how great these dudes is again. And I just don't think if you basing these dudes based off of what's happening in these games, not last round, not the round before that, not the season, what's happening in these rounds, then it's hard to continuously say Boston the best team, Boston the best team. And even if you want to take in consideration all these other team rounds. Like I said, you got to take in consideration that everybody was saying Brooklyn wasn't a good team. I understand they have Kevin Durant. But everybody said Brooklyn was not a good team. Milwaukee didn't have Chris Middleton and still took them to Game 7. And I truly think that's a different outcome in that series if Game 7 is in Milwaukee and not in Boston. Because that's why I picked Boston to win that game in Milwaukee. The Game 7, because it was in Boston. I said as great as Giannis Antetokounmpo is, Boston just going to be a tough place to win for a Game 7. Miami is going to be a tough place to win for Game 7. That's why I said last night, when you lose this game, Game 6, if you the Celtics, it's no longer about which is the better team that can win. Because in Game 7, it could legitimately be all these dudes from Miami who've been struggling shooting the entire series going off on one in Game 7. So you leave it all up to chance now, especially because the game is in Miami. So another thing when I'm looking at Jaylen Brown, that's one of the reasons. So that's probably why I'm less critical of Jaylen Brown. But what I will say is this. Jaylen Brown, as being the second, I would like for him to be more aggressive in the fourth. But I think Jaylen Brown usually is aggressive. I actually think Jaylen Brown usually more aggressive than Jason Tatum. Because I don't think Jaylen Brown gives a fuck about his shooting percentage. I think Jason Tatum plays as if he give a fuck about his shooting percentage at times. And the reason I think that is because I've seen Jason Tatum shoot in the past as if he don't give a fuck about his shooting percentages. Now I kind of feel... And then one of my biggest problems with Jason Tatum, and I just can't get past it. I just don't think he shoot enough fucking shots in these losses, bro. When you look... And I don't think it's a thing where, the game dictated he only shot that many shots. No, I think, you know how I say Bam Adebayo play this disappearing act in the fourth quarters when they need him. He loved to disappear. Jason Tatum, when his team seemed to be losing, he do a lot of disappearing. And when his team found ways to get back in it, whether it be because of Brown, Smart, or others, then Jason Tatum reemerges. And I don't think people people don't talk about that enough. But I think that's one of the, because it's like he'll be shooting the ball good or he'll shoot it back. Once his team take when they go down, I don't really feel like he the reasons a lot of these times, especially in this series, that they've come back in some of these games. It's been Jaylen Brown who shot them back into most of these games when they was down. Like Jaylen Brown done went on hot streaks in damn near every single one of these games that they've won. And even in some of the games that they lost where they made the run, like in this last game 6, Jaylen Brown was one of the biggest reasons they got back into this game when Miami started to build a lead. Because Jaylen Brown started to go off on one. And Jason Tatum do get to the line a lot. Because like I said, I think the officiating in this series has been absolutely wild. But in a way, I'm not really too irritated by it for the simple reason I can't be mad at the refs for not giving Strauss and Vincent and them boys a whole bunch. Not to mention, this motherfucker Vincent get his 3-pointer blocked more than anybody I'd ever seen in my life. I swear to you, Vincent will have about 10 plus 3-pointers blocked in this series. And I don't understand it, yo. I really don't. But to me, Jaylen Brown, while yes, he do got to be, I just think he is usually more aggressive. And I just think that in my opinion, in my humble opinion, sometimes I just think that Jason Tatum, he play based off of how the game is going. And I do feel like sometimes he guarding his shooting percentages and shit, like kind of Aaron Rodgers-ish. And so I don't really know how to feel about that. But aside from that, I just don't think that Jason Tatum shoot enough shots, period, to be completely honest with you. Like, you expect for your star player, like, I understand if he was in a situation like Golden State, right? Where, mind you, Steph Curry's, we're talking about an advanced Steph Curry now, not even prime Steph Curry, unanimous MVP Steph Curry. Obviously, he don't have to take 30, 40 plus fucking shots, 26 shots a game. Obviously, he got a shit ton of help because of how he played, because of the system they run, which I hate saying the system because the system wouldn't matter without Steph Curry. So because he is. But right now, Jason Tatum ain't in that type of system. That's not how this team is built. So I think it hurt this team because a lot of the shots that Jason Tatum is not taking is going to Marcus Smart. And Marcus Smart is taking a lot of bad three-pointers. And I also don't understand why Marcus Smart is bailing Miami out with these bad three-pointers. Even if you are shooting, for one, Marcus Smart is not a great floor general. He is not a point guard. He is playing a point guard position, and he have good moments, but he is not a point guard. But on top of him not being a point guard, he have these times where he'll dribble the clock out, or he'll just get the ball back, or just not make any type of play. And he'll bail the other team out by just shooting a bad three-pointer. Instead of just going to the rack or trying to penetrate or doing anything, he'll just settle for these three-pointers. And all those shots that he is taking, those extra shots that Marcus Smart is taking that he should not be taking, are shots that you would think Jason Tatum would be taking. Which is why, while Marcus Smart resembled Draymond in the sense that defensively, even though I don't think he's a better defender than Draymond, and that's no disrespect to Marcus Smart. It's just the fact that I don't think Marcus Smart can legitimately defend a Joel Embiid or a Nikola Jokic. Like, I don't even think he would cause those dudes the rest on their best days. Or Anthony Davis. I'm not saying he would have a play or two against him because he is who he is, but that's not where he would live at. He would live on the 1, the 2, the 3. Some smaller fours he would live on. Or most smaller fours he would live on if you run in a small forward combo. Draymond Green's defending the 1 through the 5. So that's just my preference. I think Draymond's one of the greatest defenders of all time. So while I think Marcus Smart is a great defender, I think Draymond is generational defensively. So, but I also think Draymond is a generational talent because how many players, and I'm going to get into this later when I talk about Draymond and Klay, but how many players can do what Dre do? He don't need to shoot the ball. He do not have an ego that will ever make him feel like he got to do more than what he is doing, because he do so much. He can assist. He can run the show. He can play defense on anybody. Like, and now they be having Dre freelance defense at times. Like, Marcus Smart could be close to playing that role in ways. Heart of the team, a lot of that. But I just don't think he played that Draymond role nearly as good as Dre. Obviously, Draymond going to play it better because it's the Draymond role. But I don't think he really, because Draymond not jacking up those dumbass threes or some of those bad threes. He is making sure that ball end up in one of those better players' hands to take a shot. Like, and I just think sometimes it don't even feel like Marcus Smart is trying to get the ball to Tatum or Brown. But then, on top of that, Tatum got to come and get it. Like, Tatum can't just want the ball when they making a run and they done took the lead, or they didn't cut the lead to like 2 or 3, or when you up 3. You can't just want the ball then. When you down 15 plus points, you got to want the ball then too. You got to be just as aggressive then as you are when you up. And I don't think Tatum's aggressiveness when they down is the same when they are up or down 2 or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So I think truly that's one of the Celtics' biggest problems. Because people keep talking about all these other injuries and shit like that. Miami done shot the ball poor enough for the Celtics to have won this series by now. Like, I don't think it's an excuse for them. To me, the reason the Celtics haven't won this series yet is because of Jason Tatum's up and down. It's not because of Jaylen Brown, in my opinion. People is lumping him into this because they not wanting to give because for some reason you talk about Jason Tatum like he a superstar, but you're not giving him the superstar star treatment, in my opinion. Because you cannot say when something go wrong for the Warriors, they instantly blame Steph. When something go wrong for the Nets, they instantly blame, even though I don't even think they instantly blame KD because they didn't blame Kyrie, James Harden. If anything go wrong for the Lakers, they instantly blame LeBron James. Because those are two dudes, LeBron and Curry, who get all the blame no matter what. LeBron James can make a good pass at the end of a game to a wide open dude, and the dude can just jack the 3. And they're going to blame LeBron. Why didn't you just get to the rim? So, I don't truly think that they give Jason Tatum true superstar treatment in that as soon as things go wrong, they don't want to just blame Tatum. They want to say Tatum, but Brown too. And that's just wild to me. Because Brown has been good enough in this series. Like, even though he do get the ball stripped and turn it over too much, Jason Tatum turned the ball over too much in this series. And another thing with Boston need a legitimate point guard, because nobody on Boston's team is a legitimate point guard. Boston's action is run through fast break, turnover, ISOs, and things of that nature. But it's not a point guard who can set other people up and things of that nature. And I'm not saying you need one dude to be able to initiate the offense for everybody. But it would be great to have a point guard who could initiate offense for other people at times and make the game easier for Jason Tatum. And like, you could get a Drew Holiday. Like, you're not taking the ball out of Giannis's hands anymore because you got Drew Holiday. It's just now you maximize those times when the ball is not in his hands. You have it in the hands of somebody who you know can do so. That's why when you had Rondo with LeBron, you want the ball in Rondo's hand when it's not in LeBron's. It's not that you're taking the ball out of LeBron's hands, but when the ball is not in his hands, who do you have with the ball now? Rajon Rondo. So I think that's what Boston truly need, but because you can't get that right now, I just think... Because I don't think their offensive game plan is really that great. I just think it's heavily relying on Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown being good. And because I don't think Jaylen Brown is truly a great scorer or a great shooter of the ball, but he can get hot, I think he is being forced as the number 2 player to take more shots, or shots that he wouldn't normally take, or wouldn't normally want to take, or you wouldn't normally want him to take certain shots, but because he is the certified number 2 on this team by default, basically, he take those. And then, I noticed something else about the Celtics. I don't understand why, and I said it before, it never feel like they can have a quarter where Jaylen Brown go for like 10 points and Tatum go for like 14, or Tatum go for 10 points and Jaylen Brown go for 12. It don't feel like they have a lot of those quarters where both dudes going off at the same time. Because this would be a very tough team to beat if that were the case. But because they don't have a ton of quarters where both of these motherfuckers going off at the same time, so by default, I understand that they do have two good players. And I understand that usually when you have two good players, you would think that's a good team. Or those two dudes work so seamless together. But you can have two good players on a team and not have them actually work great together at the same time. In a sense, like they can be on the court at the same time, but they clearly not both shining at the same time. One of them is clearly sacrificing his offense for the other one, and the other one is clearly sacrificing his offense for the other one. It's never both of them is getting off offense at the same time. It's like I don't think that happened enough for Boston. And if it did, I would pick them to beat the champions this year. I would pick them to be the team that won it all. Even though I still think it's a chance that they can win it, like it's still a path for them to win it all, because shit, they could end up doing that this game and forward. But it just don't feel like Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown have enough games where they both go off throughout the entirety of the game together. You know what I'm saying? It feel like maybe he had a quarter, maybe he had a quarter, and that's cool, but that turned it into a one-on-one game. Even though it's two dudes who might end up with 20, 30 plus points apiece, it turned into a one-on-one. Just one-on-ones with different dudes. Because they both wasn't like Klay Thompson and Steph Curry done had so many fucking quarters where they both go off at the same time. And now it's you in full hell. Because now it's like, oh my fucking Lord, who do I guard? Both of these dudes is drilling shots right now. Like, what do I do? For Boston, it's more of a, well, we just got to find a way to shut Tatum down because he's going off right now. Oh, well, now we got to just figure out how to shut Jaylen Brown down because he's going off right now. But it's never, oh, fuck, man, what are we going to do? They both going off on us right now. Like, what are we going to do? I don't think Boston have that enough. And I think that's one of the reasons they can end up losing this series. And obviously, I picked Miami in 7. But in all honesty, putting my biasness aside for Boston because of just me, my Laker blood, that's one of the reasons I actually picked Miami in 7. Because I just don't feel like this team play as a great team led by those two. Like they have, Boston is a good team. I'm not arguing or disputing that Boston is a bad team or nothing like that. What I'm saying is, to get to this apex and to stay there and to be great and to win, it's hard to do what Steph Curry and Klay did, or what Steph and KD was doing, or what LeBron and Kyrie could do, or what LeBron and Dwayne Wade could do. Attack at the same time and throw a defense completely in all hell. Because it was easy to figure out how to stop one of them when it was just one going on. Now both of these motherfuckers is a problem at the same time throughout the entirety of the game. So we can't rest and lack off on either one of these motherfuckers because they both going off. I feel like, and when you have a duo where it's still turned into one-on-one ball, kind of like KD Russ was, because it was a time when Russ KD felt like an actual duo, but the longer they played, it started to feel like, yeah, it was a duo, but it was one-on-one most of the time, just your turn, my turn, one-on-one type shit. And so that's what it kind of feel like a lot of times for Boston. And it's times where Boston play like a great team, but a lot of those times when they playing like a great team, it's still only one of those two going off. Either Jaylen Brown is the catalyst behind it or Tatum. Last night, Derek White was going off, and it was no catalyst. Like, it was neither one of those two was the reason he was. If Derek White wasn't going off last night, I don't even know if Boston don't lose this game by probably 20 points last night. Mind you, I would say, well, even Miami hit some shots last night and they barely won. But Miami, not only did they, fuck the hitting shots, they won this game in a hostile environment. Game 6, season on the line in Boston, but against a better team. And like I said, they got the better guy because they have the superstar on their team in Jimmy Butler. Jason Tatum is not better than Jimmy Butler. And Jaylen Brown, and this is no disrespect to Jaylen Brown. Clearly, I like Jaylen Brown. This is probably going to be the most critical thing I say. I don't think Jaylen Brown is a top 15 player or probably even a top 20. I would have to really think about them last 5. But Jaylen Brown, that's why I really find it weird that y'all put. Like I said, I think Jaylen Brown is a 2 because of default right now. Because Marcus Smart is not better than him. And it's nobody else on that team better than him. But Jaylen Brown would not be a 2 on the Lakers. Because he ain't better than AD or LeBron. Jaylen Brown would not be a 2 on a healthy Golden State. Because he ain't better than Klay Thompson. He ain't better than Jordan Poole, in my opinion, if Jordan Poole develop into a... Yeah, he can play good defense, but he nowhere near the score. See, I think Jaylen Brown, people don't truly realize... Like, I think... And I hope Jaylen Brown don't become what Russ is. Like, somehow Russ's shot just left him. I think that could end up becoming Jaylen Brown if they don't figure out a way to get... Because I actually think, man, I'm saying a lot and not finishing it. It's just Jaylen Brown. I can see through watching him that he is a player who go on a lot of hot streaks. Like, hot streaks is how he living right now. And the fact that he can play defense. And the team, when they play, like I said, team ball at times, he can get some great looks. And he great at dunking. I don't think he like some phenomenal finisher as far as like he can get to the rim and finish. I don't think that. I think he get, foul calls. But I don't think Jaylen Brown is like some great scorer. So I wouldn't take Jaylen Brown as my second best player on most teams. So I just think the pressure right now. And to be quite frank with you, Jason Tatum, in my opinion, as much as I want him to be a superstar, he is a number 2 right now. Because you cannot tell me he a number 1 having this many wishy-washy games. And I don't even care about the scoring. You can struggle scoring, but this lack of shot attempts, this unaggressiveness when you in moments where you need him to be aggressive, like obviously Jason Tatum is going to be a number 1 eventually, in my opinion. But if you lose this series, this really could set you back because Middleton probably won't be hurt next year, and a lot of things could change. Brooklyn could be a better team. It just makes it that much harder to win this thing when you get this close, and especially when you could have closed this thing out in Boston if you get beat in Miami, which is it's a high chance that's gonna happen. That could happen. It's gonna happen in my opinion because I picked Miami in 7. So I'm basically starting to turn my talk into my prediction because I picked Miami in 7. But that's basically my doubling back for the Miami Celtics Game 6, bro. I just had to get those thoughts off about Miami. Also, about Boston. About Miami, though, real quick. Victor Oladipo should be a starter on this team. And I know he don't shoot the ball good. I still am holding out hope for Victor. I like Victor Oladipo. I don't know. Maybe it's his angelic voice. I don't really know what it is, but I fuck with Victor Oladipo. And I even though he was not shooting the ball good throughout this series, he shot the ball good last game. I even thought they should have got him more attempts because he looked confident when he was shooting shots. Like, at one point in time, he had dribbled, right? And he looked like he was trying to dribble into a step back. And it looked like he got the step back that he wanted, but he was hesitant to take the shot. And it felt like he immediately did not like that he didn't attempt that shot. He passed it. He asked for it back, immediately got to his move, got to his step back, drilled the shot. That's what we need. We need Victor Oladipo to play confident. Because the reality is, if Victor Oladipo can be confident, play confident, attack the basket, get his open shots, because he's going to get open shots, and shoot with confidence, Victor Oladipo could easily be the second to third best player on this team. It's between him and Kyle Lowry fighting for 2 and 3. Because I done said all I had to say about Bam out of this magician, Bam out of Bayou. Because he is doing nothing and bringing nothing to this series outside of that game 3. And I told y'all a long time ago, when you talk about when you want to understand something, you take the worst and the best, X them out, and then you get what's left right there. You take Bam's worst game, you take his best game in the series, you throw him out. Bam has been below average in this series. I'm just telling you right now. The fact that this dude is so... and it's hard to even really say that Bam is a bad scorer in this series, even though he take a lot of dumbass shots. But that's because of how hesitant he is, how he take late shots. And it don't even be like he take... Bam hold the ball for so long trying to find somebody to pass it to. He will turn down face-up opportunities to face somebody up and either shoot it or try to go past him or something. Al Horford done stifled this man at every single opportunity he done had. Grant Williams or Robert Williams seem like they come in and block his shot every other play. Bam Adebayo is... I cannot imagine. Maybe it's just Boston that's making him play this bad. But Bam has not really been good throughout the playoffs at all. And this series is not, to me, a Boston is killing Bam. Because like I said, the dude is not even taking shots, bro. Like, he's not even looking to score. He is looking to pass the ball. So, I don't know what you like. Somebody going to have a conversation with this man. Like, is he scared to shoot the ball or something? Is he scared to be the reason that they lose off of shots or something? Because my guy, I hate to tell you this, but if you don't shoot the ball and y'all lose, you will be blamed even more than shooting the ball and missing. Because people will start to realize throughout this series, they'll be like, wait a minute, this dude wasn't aggressive throughout most of these games. And when I say most, I mean every single one of them except for one. You take away some of these legit easy-ass buckets you done got in transition and steals and the ball bouncing your way, and the dude has been of no use to them. He done had some good defensive plays here and there. He has been of no use to Miami. Miami could use somebody else right now. They could legitimately throw in it. That's why Eric Spoelstra had to realize, I might as well throw Duncan Robinson in, because him sitting on the bench all game is giving me just as much an impact as Bam Adebayo, who playing the majority of the game. So fuck it. I mean, seriously, bro. But hey, with that being said, Miami, let's get this dub in Game 7, man. Next thing that I wanted to talk about. Yo, I want to talk about Draymond and Klay, yo. I want to talk about Draymond and Klay. Because, you know, to get to where the Warriors done got to become the dynasty and build what they've built, I always talk about Steph, but it's not just Steph. Obviously, I talk about Steph. He the catalyst for all of it. But Klay and Draymond play such a huge part in this thing. Obviously, they are not the superstar, the generational talent that Steph Curry is. Obviously, we understand that. But I still believe they are generational teammates, and I think Draymond Green is actually a generational talent. Like, I could sit here and explain it all day, because I just have never seen. I try to think to myself, who have I seen that is doing what Draymond Green? When you think about all that Draymond Green is as a player, I'm trying to think to myself the player that was what Draymond Green was for their team. And I'm not talking about just being that great energy for your team like a Marcus Smart or Dennis. No. I'm talking about being the lockdown defender 1 through 5, a point forward basically, or whatever position Draymond play, because he could play the 4 and the 5. Being a vocal leader, the heart and soul, being like everything that Draymond is. And I'm tired of people telling me that Rodman is better than Draymond. Dennis Rodman, and just in my opinion, is not better than Draymond Green. Dennis Rodman could not do half of the shit that Draymond Green could do, bro. Like, I understand y'all don't like Draymond. Well, I don't understand it actually, but I understand y'all don't like him based off of him beating y'all team and him winning. And for some reason, society hate it when people win too much. But other than that, to me, I think people just like Rodman because they just think his wild stories and shit is intriguing. But I don't think Dennis Rodman is the player that Draymond Green is, and that's just me personally. But back to Klay and Dre. To me, when you look at two players like Claymon and wow. When you look at two players like Klay and Dre, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, two players like that, bro, you pray for players like that as an organization and as a superstar. Like as Steph Curry, you pray for two players like people always talk about the step back that Curry did for KD. Think about the step back that Klay had to make. Not necessarily Dre, because Dre's role never changed. Because when you're not a scorer and you love and you accept that as a Draymond Green, it's more than accepted. Like you rock with that. Like you don't even need to be the scorer for a team because of what you do for the team is so much more valuable. Like, so Dre really never had to take a step back in that. But Klay had to take a step back because you moved from the 2 scorer to the 3 scorer. That's a completely different role for Klay Thompson, who done built up over the years with this team, becoming the number 2. Klay Thompson had opportunities where he could have left. He could have said, I want a bigger role somewhere else. He could have said, I'm just as good as Steph Curry. I can shoot the ball just as good as Steph Curry. He could have went anywhere else because of egos and things of that nature. Not that because he didn't like Steph Curry or something like that, but because he could have said to himself, I need to prove something to myself. He could have fed into all the different noise and things of that nature. But he never did. Because winning was more important. And for one, he understood that with this shit. Now, for one, the media done cost Klay Thompson money. And y'all left this man off of the 75th anniversary team. And that's wild to me because I'm not trying to single out Dennis Rodman because it's other players. Klay Thompson is better than Dennis Rodman. Like in no reality will you convince me that Dennis Rodman is a better all-around player than Klay Thompson. You're not convincing me of that, bro. It's just no way. It's just no way. So when you look at a player like a Klay Thompson, who a lot of people kept trying to talk up to another team. I remember those years when people finally kept trying to talk Klay to another team because of how bad y'all hate Steph Curry. Oh, he could be over there with the Lakers, or oh, he could go to New York. All these places where people were saying Klay Thompson could be traded to. I remember when the Klay Thompson for Kevin Love, y'all thought that, well, y'all tried to make that a thing. Klay said, nah, I'm here. I'm a warrior. I ain't hating on Steph because I love that man. I rock with that man. That's my brother. Splash Brothers. That man could have easily said, nah, fuck a Splash Brother. I want to be that guy. Never did. Never did. Never allow ego, selfishness, and accolades or anything like that to get away and get in front of the goal. Do you know how hard it is? Because all of those things I say he could have done is things that players in the past have done. Teammates in the past have done those things. People in everyday life do those things. Klay Thompson said, nah, I can be the number 3 on this team because I want to win. Not only that, it takes a real individual to be humble enough and to be just dope enough to understand that's fucking Steph Curry and Kevin Durant. I work my ass off to be Klay Thompson. Them boys work their asses off to be Kevin Durant and Steph Curry. And the same way I expect people to treat me with the respect of that's Klay Thompson, I'm going to treat these boys with the same respect of that's Kevin Durant and Steph fucking Curry. Are you kidding me? Like, I love that. Because I'm the same type of individual, bro. Like, I'm not finna walk into no room, bro, with somebody who of clear, you know, who's not earned this, they respect and come in like, oh, fuck that dude, I'm a butt. What? You don't have to act like you beneath him or nothing like that or view yourself as beneath him, but you can clearly give respect where respect is due. That's motherfucking KD and Steph Curry. Durantula, babyface assassin. And it take a legendary player, legendary teammate to do what Klay Thompson has been able to do over the last couple years. Over his entire career, actually. And so, without a Klay Thompson, you also don't get the Warriors, because it would be so hard to find a teammate that was willing to do what Klay Thompson has been willing to do. And then you get the Draymond Green. I remember when people were saying that Draymond Green was a triple single a couple years ago. Charles Barkley hating ass started that. And I love Charles Barkley, but he stay hating on Warriors players and shit like that. And listen, I know it's all love between him and Dre right now, but that motherfucker truly was hating on Draymond back in the day, bro. Like, y'all can't tell me he wasn't, bro. The motherfucker just ended up getting to know him, and now he cool with him. But I don't know why Chuck had this personal hate for them. I don't know what it was back in the day, and I don't know. I'm glad he done found a way to be cool with him, and he done learned to respect him now. That's what they do to you, boy. They just beat the respect into you. All right, you don't respect us and like us now. That's cool. We'll never care if you like us, but you gonna respect us. I respect that shit. But when you come to Draymond, bro, look at what he got to endure. Oh, he can't score. He'd be trash on any other team. He wouldn't do this for nobody else. All right. He got to listen to y'all say that shit. Oh, he shoot like he got a backpack on his back. He got to listen to everybody say that goofy shit. And all Draymond do is continue to understand who he is, what he is, his role on this team, his leadership to this team. And you can't ask for nothing more than that. For one, listen, I can't expect a player to be able to do what Draymond Green can do. That's why it's always funny to me. Oh, you be bad on any team. I don't know if a dude who can guard 1 through 5 with this type of work ethic would be bad on any team. I just don't know about that. Because Draymond Green was so far down in the second round of that draft. You cannot tell me, because nobody with just God-given off the charts talent is going that late in the draft. Draymond Green had to work to get where he is at. So you telling me somebody with that type, they wasn't champions when Draymond Green became a Warrior. They weren't champions. He didn't come into a championship organization. That man worked and grinded to get to where he is. That's the type of work ethic you need to become Draymond. Now listen, I can't expect somebody to be able to do what Draymond Green can do, as far as like guard 1 through 5, be able to guard 1 through 5 and still run the show like a point guard, to be able to make all type of passes to hit his dudes to get them wide open. His chemistry with Klay and Curry and everybody else. His ability, his just knowledge of the game. Like, the motherfucker is a ultra rare talent. So I can't truly expect somebody to be that part of Draymond. But you can expect somebody to work as hard as Draymond. You can expect somebody to, put in like Draymond. I said it a couple shows ago. A couple shows ago. One of the things that makes Steph Curry so rare is that how many superstars is going out there doing what Steph Curry is doing? How many superstars is willing to get off of the ball? Like, remember when Kevin Durant was irritated with Draymond Green because Draymond Green didn't pass him the ball at the end of that game, in the Clipper game in the regular season? I remember telling one of my homies, like, I get he was mad at Draymond because everybody was going in on Draymond, but I was like, Draymond Green done been a leader for this team for so long. This is his job, to get the ball and push it up in transition. Like, he the point forward basically for this team. I remember telling my homies that. And they was like, man, but that's Kevin Durant and blah, blah, blah. And that's when I started to realize motherfuckers was really pushing this, that's Kevin Durant. Because you wasn't saying this Kevin Durant before that motherfucker got to Golden State and won them championships. Like, people always talk about, let's not be revisionist history with these Warriors not needing Kevin Durant. Bruh. Y'all wasn't acting like this before Kevin Durant got to Golden State and won those championships, bruh. And y'all got so mad about him doing it that now y'all trying to say, oh yeah, fuck Steph Curry and them boys. They needed Kevin Durant. Like, make up your mind. Because for so long you kept telling Kevin Durant that it wouldn't matter about his title so that they could break up. Now you trying to revise history by saying, oh yeah, but they needed him though. What? Wait a minute now. Media having it both ways. But Draymond Green is a ultra rare talent because ego could have also fucked him up. He could have been like, oh, I can go somewhere else and average more points than what I'm averaging here, get more shot attempts, I could go somewhere else and be yada, yada, yada. But, bro, it just truly feel like it's three brothers playing on the same team, driving the culture, bringing people in as far as, like, the people who come in, setting the standard for them. Like, that's truly what it feel like. They grew together with this team. Even, obviously, they got drafted at different times and whatnot. They're different ages. But it just feel like, it truly feel like the new age San Antonio Spurs. To me, just a way better version of the San Antonio Spurs. Because I watched the Spurs growing up, and the Spurs at no point in time was, to me, as fun as this Warriors team. And obviously the Spurs done had great teams. Like, I'm not matching greatness and whatnot. But this is the closest thing to the Spurs. Like, if you want to talk about the Spurs model, how they had so many. Tim Duncan was the clear best player on that team. But, you got Manu, who never had an ego, because Manu probably could have went anywhere. Manu was a problem, bro. Manu was a problem. But I just think Klay and Dre deserve a shit ton of credit for the teammates that they are, being so secure in themselves and what they've accomplished and all that they can accomplish in their place in history. That's why I really wish y'all motherfuckers would stop disrespecting Klay Thompson, bro. The media, bro, truly is the reason for damn near every breakup in the history of sports, bro. So many great players would have stayed together longer if not for the media. The media, bro, they get into your head. They like a parasite. They get into you and start sucking that blood, and then they become whatever other insects and animals describe what they become when they basically start, oh, he could be better somewhere else, or these titles don't matter when he playing with these dudes, or, they start planting them narratives and shit, and athletes see that shit. They could say they don't, but I know they do. Jimmy Butler saw them talking about he ain't can't be the leader of a championship team on First Take. He saw that shit. Yo, I gotta be good at this, man. I gotta continue to improve, because I'm trying to be a part of the new media that Draymond was talking about, bro. Maybe Draymond and somebody over there at the Volume, Colin Coward or somebody. Bro, if I got hired by the Volume, bro, that'd be lit. But baby steps. We continue to grow. But with that, man, it was just a quick snippet tonight. Talking, rehashing. Hey, I can't wait till tomorrow. I don't have to give you a prediction, because I already done told you, bro. Heat in 7. Heat in 7. That ain't changing. Jimmy gave you 47 yesterday. Going for 50 tonight, plus everybody else gonna step up. That's my prediction. With that, I appreciate you for joining me. Tell somebody you fuck with them. Tell somebody you love them. Kiss my dukes on the forehead. Hug your kids. Hug your dad. Because you just never know in this crazy world, man. Saint out.
Hey, right out. Got my niggas in the bag blowing white out. We gon' pump this shit real deep into the night out. Keep it 199, just ain't my style. Sing the time, staring out the window of the night route. They never ever understood for the most part. Hey, wonder how them niggas treated Mozart. Hey, did they try to put him on the Zoloft? Oh nah, I was penalized for being too alive. 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 I was